the golden icons of England, the shining faces of Tudor glory. To most, they are the very definition of majesty and power, the father who built an empire and the daughter who ruled it with unmatched brilliance. But tonight, I want you to look closer, not at their portraits, not at the glittering gold or the ermine robes. Look beneath the paint, beneath the power. Because behind the illusion of divine rule, behind the crown itself, there was something festering. The Tudors were not gods, they were not eternal. They were human, and they were rotting. This is not just a story of triumph. It is a story of decay, the kind that begins in the flesh and seeps into the soul. And it begins with a man who believed himself chosen by God, Henry VIII. When Henry first took the throne, he was everything a king was supposed to be: tall, golden-haired, radiant, the Renaissance ideal made flesh. He hunted, jousted, danced, debated with scholars, and charmed ambassadors. Chroniclers compared him to Apollo, the sun made man. England had never seen such a monarch. But the sun, no matter how bright, always burns itself out. Henry's downfall began not with sin or scandal, but with a single, brutal accident. In January 1536, during a joust, his favorite sport, his horse fell on him. The impact shattered his leg. The wound never healed. At first, it was just pain, then infection, then rot. For the next decade, the most powerful man in England lived in agony. His legs were riddled with ulcers that oozed and festered. They would burst open and leak pus, the smell so foul that courtiers could smell their king before they could see him. The man who once dazzled Europe now sat bloated on a mechanical throne, with his legs wrapped in bandages, soaked with wine and oil to mask the stench of decay. But Henry's rot was not just physical. It was spiritual. His obsession with control over his wives, his court, his faith consumed him. He broke with Rome, declared himself the head of the Church of England, and tore his own country apart in the process. He dissolved monasteries, stripped churches bare, and sold sacred lands to the highest bidder. He claimed divinity, but he became monstrous. In his quest for a male heir, he executed his closest allies, burned heretics, and sent two of his wives, Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard, to the block. His hands were soaked in blood, and his body dripped with rot. And by the end, the two had become the same thing. Ambassadors wrote home that he had become unrecognizable. His once athletic frame ballooned to nearly 400 pounds. He could barely move, yet his rage burned hotter than ever. He screamed at servants, accused ministers of treason, and ordered executions for imagined slights. Henry VIII had become the embodiment of his own corruption. A man so powerful he could destroy anything except himself. When he died in 1547, the courtiers who found his body reported that his coffin leaked, a dark, foul-smelling fluid oozing from within. England's Sun King had become a corpse that even death itself struggled to contain. But the curse did not die with him. It lived on in his last surviving child. Elizabeth Tudor was just 2 years old when her mother, Anne Boleyn, was executed by her father's command. She grew up in the shadow of that act, learning early that in the Tudor world, love was fatal. When she took the throne in 1558, England was fractured, bleeding, and poor. But Elizabeth rose like a miracle. She spoke with clarity, ruled with cunning, and became, in the eyes of her people, the Virgin Queen, the living embodiment of England's rebirth. But even miracles have their price. In 1562, she fell ill with smallpox. She survived barely, but her face was left scarred. For a woman who built her power on image, this was devastating. So she found a solution: Venetian ceruse, a deadly cosmetic made of white lead and vinegar. It created a flawless white mask, the face of eternal youth. But each time she applied it, the lead seeped into her skin, her blood, her bones. Slowly, it poisoned her. Her teeth blackened, her hair thinned, her nerves deteriorated. The Queen of England, the living symbol of perfection, was being eaten alive by her own illusion. Her courtiers whispered about her rages, her melancholy, her sudden tears. They called it age, but it was something darker, the toll of years spent hiding truth beneath paint. Like her father, Elizabeth was trapped in the cage of her own image. He was a god who became a monster. She was a woman who became a myth, and both were myths that were killing them. Her decay, though quieter, was no less horrific. She adored sweets, a luxury that only the wealthy could afford. Sugar had just arrived from the colonies, and Elizabeth devoured it. By her final years, her teeth had turned black and rotted away, her gums inflamed and bleeding. Foreign ambassadors wrote home that her breath was unbearable, her voice strange and muffled. Yet she insisted on being painted, always in perfection, her face pale, her figure unaging. The mask became her prison, and beneath that ghostly face was a woman collapsing from within. Both Henry and Elizabeth ruled alone. Both believed they were chosen, divine instruments of destiny. Both paid the price for that belief. Henry's tyranny destroyed the peace of his kingdom. Elizabeth's perfection destroyed her humanity. He rotted because he could not control his body. She rotted because she could not let the world see hers. He devoured everything he loved, wives, friends, faith, in his hunger for legacy. She denied herself everything human, love, marriage, even children, to preserve that legacy. And in the end, both were left with nothing but the crown and the silence that comes with it. Elizabeth outlived all her suitors, all her advisors, all her friends. She had become the last Tudor, the final survivor of a dynasty drenched in blood and haunted by ghosts. In her final months, she refused to sleep in a bed. She sat on cushions, sleepless, staring into the shadows, her fingers tracing her crown as if afraid it might vanish. When she finally died in 1603, she was surrounded by no one. The great Virgin Queen, who had ruled a golden age, defeated the Spanish Armada, and reigned for 45 years, left the world alone. Her body riddled with the poisons she had chosen, her dynasty extinct. When we look at the Tudors, we often see splendor, the portraits, the jewels, the power. But the truth that history rarely tells is this: their greatness was built on destruction. Their beauty was painted over decay. Henry VIII and Elizabeth I, father and daughter, two faces of the same curse.